Thank you, Pat. Being a statewide candidate has been a lot of fun so far. It's really nice to get around North Dakota and actually talk to Democrats. And they are always happy to see you. And we are like one big happy family. I am the second retired major to take the podium tonight. We had a retired Army major and now a retired Marine major. I say it's a trade up, not necessarily in height. But I want to thank my fellow candidates, both statewide and on the district level. I have run in a district and just got totally smoked in 2020, and it was painful. You really think you might be that person who can pull it out. And it did not happen. So it's got to happen this time. On the small family theme, Mark Haugen was my brother Stuart's paramedic instructor. And my brother Stuart is the best paramedic in the world. You just ask him. And now I feel kind of like I have a sister in Katrina. We've only been to 2 campaign events together, but they were long travel events for me anyway. One to Lisbon, and just on Thursday night, down to
Ellendale.
Yes, I'm still tired from that trip. I left Granville at 3 in the afternoon and went all the way down to Ellendale, practically to South Dakota, to meet with District 28. And they had a great crowd, and it was a really good meeting. I have to thank my campaign manager, Kelly. A lot of you know Kelly already. She came aboard the campaign originally as the girlfriend. On the road to Lisbon to a District 24 meeting, she said, maybe I should be your campaign manager. And I'm like, it comes with the same pay and benefits as the girlfriend job. And it's much less likely to result in promotion anytime in the near future. But she took the job because apparently campaign managers get to make rules. Like, never mention your girlfriend/campaign manager when addressing a crowd of any size. Also, no paraphrasing from poetry or classic literature, and especially not from the opening of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, which is, I have to admit, is kind of a nerdy habit of mine. I'm like, I am not sure I really need a campaign manager. And she said, it is a truth universally acknowledged that a middle-aged man in possession of his party's nomination for a statewide race must be in want of a campaign manager. And I said, I think you just broke the rules. And she said, the rules only apply to the candidate. The rules are actually in support of staying on message, which, that is one of Kelly's goals that we keep failing to meet every time I begin talking. I don't know what she's doing wrong. But I was supposed to start with this letter she got in the mail just the other day. Oops. That wasn't in the rehearsal. Oh, but my reading glasses were in the rehearsal. Okay. Oh, there they are. You're supposed to practice with your props before you ever give a speech. That's a lesson from a Toastmaster for you. From Rona McDaniel, Chairperson, Republican National Committee. Dear Kelly, we urgently need you to reconfirm today that you are still a Republican voter. As you know, the Democrats control both houses of Congress and the presidency. With the support of the mainstream media, they've unleashed a torrent of crime, looting, and lawlessness across America, stalled our economy, ignited skyrocketing prices, opened our borders to a flood of illegal immigrants, undermined the integrity of our elections. I think Rona's been doing her own research on that one. In short, set our nation on a destructive, Marxist, radical left course from which we may never recover. We are now deep into the 2022 midterm election year. The Democrats are raking in millions in campaign cash from far left special interests and liberal billionaires to sweep the elections and solidify their grip on government. For all you liberal billionaires in the room, I am a candidate for office, and I think you could probably help me out. If there's one thing we candidates are always looking for, I've learned, it is more campaign money. My opponent in this campaign was one of those that Tracy Potter mentioned as being appointed by the governor. She's never run for office. She was appointed to her position. I'm running for the four-year position on the Public Service Commission. Her campaign slogan is innovation over regulation. The problem with this is it evinces a misunderstanding of the relationship between innovation and regulation. Innovation and regulation are not forces in opposition to each other. Innovation or regulation often drives innovation. Regulation often saves innovation from itself, from its own excesses. Regulation saves society from paying the costs while industry rakes in the profits. Now, I know this is not going to be an easy race. I was reading the newspapers after our Democratic convention in Minot, and they made it sound fairly hopeless. The Bismarck Tribune said, the Dem NPL has hit rock bottom. They're a party in disarray. A UND professor of political science, quoted in the forum, said that we're at a very, very low ebb, and that our statewide candidates are engaged in hopeless endeavors. Even our own beloved Lloyd Omdahl compared our task to the charge of the Light Brigade, up the wrong valley, into the direct artillery fire. I was reading that, I was at 2 Lloyd Omdahl. And Lloyd even paraphrased a little bit from Tennyson's poem in his article, so I guess the rules don't apply to the columnist. So those rules only apply to me, no paraphrasing from classical literature. So, friends, Dem NPLers, North Dakotans, lend me your ears. I come here today not to bury the Dem NPL, but to praise it, not to lament, but to celebrate a rich history of great governors and great governance. Some say that in order to win, we must distance ourselves from the National Democratic Party. So, we distance ourselves from finally getting infrastructure done instead of just labeling several weeks in a row with infrastructure. We distance ourselves from the largest year-to-year reduction in the federal budget deficit in history. Distance ourselves from the only party unanimous in its support for the Ukrainian people in their fight against an authoritarian bully. Meanwhile, no one expects our Republican friends to distance themselves from Governor Abbott's cruelty, from Governor DeSantis's straw man arguments, from Kevin McCarthy's spinelessness, from Rick Scott's quiet part out loud plan to raise taxes on the poor so they will have some skin in the game. I would distance myself from that. Madison Cawthorn got a strong talking to from Kevin